Hello students, in our previous classes we learned various data types and how to input in them. In this session we are going to learn some new kind of thing. So it's very important that you must focus. Let me first make a program and then let me tell you what is this. And yes, of course, to keep the things simple, try to focus on only those things on which I am I just want to focus. Don't go in much detail. Okay, you have to learn everything, but the way I'm trying to teach you, that way just you follow. So now I'll make one program which will have some variation. You know why this statement is written? This statement is written to make an object which will help us in inputting. Why I have put it out? This is in the global area. Now what is global and local? That you will understand. We could have also written this inside this, but then it will have become a local object. So it's better to put this here in this place, in the data declaration part. Sum. Okay, fine. Now let us make few variables inside this function. What is this sum? Actually, I'm making a function whose name is sum. So this class is dedicated to functions, how we can make functions. Now, what are functions? That you will learn slowly, but how we can create a function. Let me first create it and show you that how it is working. int n1 n2. I'm making a very simple program. Enter two numbers. You know this, and n1 equals in dot next int, n2 equals in dot next int. You might be wondering, sir, so far we have been using a public static void main, but now we are not using that. Yes, we are not using that now. Since we have to use this, of course, in that case, we'll have to import. So it's an important line to write. Look, this is the beginning and this is the end. And what is this? This is the function. Why I have written void? Why I have written this? That I'll explain, but don't worry about these things. Just watch very carefully. And yes, do practice. If you not practice, these things will become tough for you. Now what? Now I'll create public static void main. Now the main function begins. Now what to do? What to do? Anything you can do. Let us output something. Main function begins. Why, sir? Why you have written so? Just simply I've written this. Now why we have made sum? Or the use of sum here? What it will do? That's why I want to show you. Just write sum like this. Yes, this much. What is this then? Let us try to understand this. Look, this is the sum function. We have defined a function, then we are doing something. We have made a program. This curly brace is for the main function. This is for, for sum. This set of curly braces is for class. Now, let us save this. Name of class is fun. Fun.java. Now let us compile it. Go to E drive. Java C fun.java. Some error is there. What kind of error? Expected something. Oh yes. Look at chalo theek hai. Let's try to learn this. I've compiled this fun.java. This is the file name. This 11 means what? This is the line number. Then you have to find the line number 11. This line. This line has a problem. What's telling? Expected. This thing is expected. It's marking here that this point is the place where you are leaving this, or a mistake. Let's put it there. Save it again. Come back to the compiler. Compile it. Okay. Non-static method can be referred from the static function. Oh, one more mistake I'm making. Okay. Then let us resolve. The errors are good. They let you learn. Okay. So look at the error first. Line number 17. Go to line number 17. This. What is happening? It's telling you non-static method cannot be referenced from a static context. Now here, things may become a little complicated to you. That what is this? So static, we have never seen. Okay, don't worry. Let me help you. It's telling that main function is a static function. And it's telling that some function is a normal function. It's not non-static function. So a static function cannot call a non-static function. So what? Make this static. Just put this static word here. Do not worry. Do not worry. Just follow this. You are in the learning phase. Let us see now. Look, these errors will help you to learn. Non-static variable cannot be referred from a static context. Okay. So what? We'll have to make this local. These things are getting complicated for you at your level, but still you have to learn. So let us learn these things. Things will become clear to you. Just don't worry. Once save it, and then let us see what happens. This time it's okay. Now what? Java fun. Main function begins. Why this message came? You know why it came? Because when you run any program, the execution starts from the main function. This is the main function. This is the output. Main function begins. And now we are calling this sum function. Then what happens when we do this? The control goes to the sum function. This starts executing. This function starts executing. And what it has to do? It has to perform these things. What are these things? First, an object is created for inputting. Two variables are created. Then this enter two numbers. And that's why here enter two number is coming. And yes, enter 7. And when you will press enter, the 7 will go to n1, that we already know. Another 8. Then sum 15, 7 plus 8. Now work after this. What is there? End of the function. then it came back here, then end of the function, and then end of the class. And this is how this worked. So see in this program how it is working, dear students. This is the way of making a function, and function are the integral part of any programming. Functions are the lifeline of a program. These are the functions through which we do anything. Look at this. Println is one of the functions that has been, we have been using this since the beginning. Next line is a function that we use for next int. These all are functions. But these are such functions which are made by someone else. And where it is made in a scanner class or in these packages. These are made, which we directly use. What we are doing, we are using the ready-made functions. This is a form of abstraction. We do not worry that what is inside that, what is written inside these functions, how this is inputting, how this is outputting. We do not need to worry about that. We just simply use this function. If you have to watch a TV, we just switch the power button and change the channel and see whatever way. We don't need to worry that how the TV is made, how this is catching the signal and all. Don't worry. The same way, these are the functions. You just need to call them, invoke them. That's it. In this class, I'm trying to tell you how we can make our own functions. Our own functions. Yes. So this is how we can make our own functions. Now forget why we have written static. Just now let me tell you a light reason behind this. Since the main function is a static function, so a static function can call only static functions. This is a rule. And what is a static function? This is not the issue of right now. We'll learn this. For right now, if you want to really know a reason why we have written static, then the reason is, if we'll not make a main function static, then we may not call it from the command prompt. That's why we have to make it a static function. And one more rule says that a static function can only call static functions. So therefore we have to make the sum function a static function. Now here comes how we can make a function. So this is how we make a function. First, everything is there in a class encapsulation. Okay, everything is encapsulated in a class. So the function will be made. Look, dear students, one more thing I would like to add here. We have not yet started object-oriented programming. In order to understand what is an object-oriented programming, you need to know the procedural programming also. So this is an example of procedural programming, which is function-based. We make function, we do our work. Here in this kind of programming, we do not need to create object and all. So we are actually learning the procedural way of making programs. And in this way, we earlier learned the basic things like outputting and inputting. Now we are learning how to make a function. So if you want to make any function, just do this. First write a static keyword, then write void. This too you have to write. In this class, I can only tell you this. And then any name, any identifier, any valid variable name. Since we have to do sum through this function, so I have given a name sum. And this set of parentheses is given. Now this is the rule of declaring or defining a variable, not variable, a function. First we have to write static, then we have to write void, then we have to write the name of function that we want, and then this set of parentheses. Now this is the beginning of the function. Now this is the definition of the function, what this function will do. Whenever this function will be called, what it will do? So it will first create in object, then it will create two variables in RAM, then it will output this particular statement that enter two numbers, and then it will enter two numbers in these variables, and then it will output this. And what? Bus end. Call this, and it is working. Let us once see this again. Main function. First main function is called. Okay, this main function is started. Here this output is there, and then this function is called. So how to call a function? Just simply type the name of that function, sum and the parenthesis, this part. You may or may not give space. It's okay. Okay. This part and a semicolon. This is how we call a function. Just switching on a button like that, simple as that. And this function invokes, and whatever line of code you have written, thousand, hundreds, lakhs of lines, all these will be executed. So this is how it is working. Now enter two numbers, enter any number in the range of int, it will work. Now what is the benefit of making a function? Look at the benefit. We can call it any number of times. 3 times, let us call it. Save it. CLS. Compile it once and now run it. You know what will happen now? Look, let me first predict and then you see. Main function begin. What will happen? This line will be outputted. Then the sum function will be called. Then these line of code will be executed. It will ask two numbers and print the sum. After that, what will happen? It will go for the next line. This is the next line. Again, we are calling the function. Again, these things will be happening. Then after end, this line will be executed. Again, we are calling this function. So again, this thing will happen. So can we do this? Can we call? Yes, we can call the function any number of time. If you have mixer grinder at home, you can grind any number of time. Anytime you wish. If you have bulb at home, you can switch on any number of time. You can use any function any number of time. That's an asset. You can use it anywhere, anyway, any number of time. And yes, computer is not tired of all such things. You will be tired, but computer will not. This is the first round. This first time some function is executed. This time give any number. Let us give 2-digit number, sum. Then again, this function is again called. This time 3-4-digit number. Then again, third time also because of this. Anything you insist here. So this is how. Look, make once, use many. एक बार हमने function बना लिया, and then we can use it any number of time in any sequence. So dear students, you can see that we have made only one function. Can we make another function? Yes, you can make any number of functions. How? Suppose, sir, we want to multiply. I want to make a function for multiplication of two numbers. Then what? So I'll tell you that. The same way, static. Why I'm writing? Forget about it. Void. Why I'm writing void? Forget about it. Just write it. Now, if you want to find multiplication or product, you can give a name prod or product, or your name you can also give. But product is a short, nice, clear name and set of parentheses. Then what? Then the same thing, this curly brace. Then what? Then either you type this or you just copy this or paste it here to save time. But sir, this is sum is going on here. Yes, replace this with multiplication and replace this message with what? Product. And what about these variables, sir? We have already created this variable here. So just in the beginning, I said you the concept of local and global variable. So this is the local variable. What are local variables? If we are creating any variable inside a function, this is the sum function and we are creating a variable inside this, then it's a local variable. It starts here and it ends here. As soon as this block ends, this variable also ends. It gets flushed out from the memory. Its existence is over. And now we are making again this variables, and this new variable is made. Then again is a local variable. This may be a little complicated to you, but still this is the point. If you can understand, then it's okay. Otherwise practice. And if you're not understanding, then also leave it. To see that we can use the same names, or you can give the another variable name. Enter two numbers. You can modify it for multiplication. You can write, or anything you can just write in there. Now what? Save it. But before saving it, just remove these two and call the product. Now why I'm writing product before the sum? Just to show you that functions once made, they doesn't need to be called in the sequence in which they are made. You can make any number of function like this, but you can call in any order. It's not like that the sum is first created and then we have to call first sum and then no, this is not the way. You can again call product any number of times with in any random order. Save it. Let us the earlier program will run. Let us save this. Okay. Let's see. Find out Java. Here fun stands for function, huh? Not funny. Main function begin, enter two numbers. Oh, the program was not saved properly. That's why the earlier class file is running. So let us save it. Control S. Press properly. Control S. CLS, and then compile it back. Then let's see. Main function begins. Now the product function is called. Now the control transferred to the product function here. What is the first line? This is the first line. What is happening here? An in object is being created. Okay. Why it's created? For inputting. Two variables are created. Okay. Now this is the output. Enter two number for multiplication. Look, enter two number for multiplication. And that's what is appearing here, enter two number multiplication. Now enter any number. See, this is the product. After this line, product, after displaying the product, it ends. Then the control get transferred back to this function. And after this, what is there? The sum is there.